Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is April 30th, 2024, and Ilk Gundan has broken his Manchester City record. Also, Monchi was spotted in the city of Barcelona. And finally, Deco has spoken out about the rumor that he wanted Oscar Hernandez replaced. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I am still out of the country on vacation. This is why I am bringing you this short live video to keep you up to date on all the Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I won't be addressing the chat section or reading your comments out loud. This is just to keep you up to date with our beloved club as I'm on vacation, as you can see, because I am currently away from my YouTube studio, so I can edit and upload videos. So this is why I have to bring you these live ones. But having said all of that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. Now let's dive right into the news. But before doing that, I do want to address the whole Mika Fai situation, because I know I reported in a previous video that Xavi Hernandez wants to ask Barcelona to keep Inigo Martinez. And if Inigo Martinez stay at the club, that does complicate things for Mika Fai, because that would mean that Barcelona would have 5 center backs on the first team, which would mean that Mika Fai perhaps would not have a spot on the first team. And this is after that the club had already met with Mika Fai's agent and let him know that they do plan on promoting him to the first team next season. Now, the reason I want to address this, not because there's some new news or anything like that. I want to address this because I've seen a lot of people angry at the comment section, calling Xavi a racist, saying that Xavi prefers Spanish players. And here's the thing. All of you know that I'm not a Xavi fan as a coach. I think it's a mistake to keep Xavi Hernandez as a coach. However, when it comes to these allegations, we do have to talk about them, because first of all, it's not that Xavi prefers Inigo over Mika Fai. What Xavi is saying, that he wants the club to keep Inigo. He's not saying I want Inigo over Fai. He's saying I want Inigo to stay. And if Inigo stays, that of course does complicate things for Fai, but Xavi is not choosing Inigo over Mika Fai. The second thing, and this is the most important point, is that people are saying that Xavi Hernandez is a racist because he wants Inigo. Now, this is a very, very serious thing, because you guys know by now, I'm not a Xavi fan. I believe that the club are making a mistake keeping Xavi. But I've always said, if you're going to criticize Xavi, make sure to criticize him on the facts, on the truth, on what's actually going on. And to call someone a racist because you don't agree with him, that's not okay. Because saying someone is a racist is a very, very serious accusation. And we should only throw that accusation around when it actually has some basis in truth and in fact. You can't just call someone a racist because you don't agree with them. And to say that Xavi's a racist, that somehow he prefers Spanish players, there is absolutely zero truth to that. Just look at the starters. 8 out of the 11 starters are foreigners. Ter Stegen, he's German. Araujo, you're Wayne. Kunde, he's French. Cancelo, he's Portuguese. Frankie, he's Dutch. Lamine Yamal, I'm sorry, not Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski, he's Polish. Rafinha, he's Brazilian. Gundogan, he's German and Turkish. That's 8 out of 11 players who are foreigners. They're not Spanish. That's over 70% of the squad, starting squad, are foreigners. They're not Spanish. So please stop saying that Xavi's somehow a racist, that somehow he prefers Spanish players, because that's absolutely not true. Are there Spanish players in Barcelona? Of course there is. It's a Spanish team in the Spanish league in the country of Spain. Of course it's going to have Spanish players. To be surprised that Barcelona somehow has Spanish players, It's absolutely silly. Third of all, the reason why Xavi Hernandez prefers Inigo Martinez is not because he's a racist that he hates African players. It simply is based on experience. What you have to understand is that yes, Mika Faye is very talented. Yes, he's showing a lot of potential. I'm one of his biggest fans, but he hasn't proven anything. Mika Faye has only proven himself in third division football. Inigo, Christensen, Kunde, Araujo, Pau Cuarci have all proven themselves in first division football. Mika Faye hasn't. So for Xabi to choose players who have proven themselves in first division over someone who hasn't, there's nothing crazy about that. There's nothing racist about that. It makes total sense. Now I have no doubts that Mika Faye one day is going to be great and is going to prove to be one of the best center backs. But we don't know that. That's only speculation. He has not proven himself yet. The other 5 center backs on the first team, they have. So to say that Xabi is somehow crazy or racist or a clown for choosing players who have proven themselves over a player who has not, maybe he will, maybe he won't. That's nothing crazy about that. Because again, Mika Faye has not proven himself. Yes, he's doing great in third division, but we don't know if he's going to be great in first division. How many times have we seen dozens and dozens of players who were absolute stars in Barca Athletic, who were absolute stars in third division? They get promoted to the first, and all of a sudden, they fail. Now, I don't think that's going to happen with Faye. I think Faye is still going to be great in first division, but it's a gamble. So there's nothing crazy about choosing players who've actually proven themselves in first division over someone who we don't know whether he will or not. So I understand people are angry. I know people want to see Mika Faye with the first team. I do too. But please stop saying that Xabi is a racist. Stop saying that Xabi is crazy because of this, because simply it's not true. You can criticize Xabi all you want. There's a lot of things you can criticize Xabi about. I have done it many, many times. But please, let's keep it civil. And most importantly, let's keep it reasonable. But anyways, let's move on with some news because Ilk Gundan, after yesterday's match against Valencia, he actually broke his own records, which is his record for most assists, because he now has scored 5 goals and provided 12 assists during the season. That beats his previous record with Manchester City, where he had scored 8 assists in the 2018-2019 season. So previous record was 8. Now he's at 12, which shows how great the German-Turkish midfielder is doing at Barcelona, despite the entire team not doing as well as Manchester City or as the team has done in the past. So this just goes to show how great a form İlk Gundan is in, and not to mention that İlk Gundan has played 47 out of 48 matches this season. So just shows how important he is for Xabi and for the team, and how great he is doing for Barcelona. I know a lot of people have complained about İlk Gundan in the past, but I don't think those complaints have any merit. I think Gundogan has been absolutely stellar, and these numbers prove so. Now, speaking of yesterday's match between Barcelona and Valencia, Monchi was seen in the stands of the stadium of Montjuic watching the Barcelona versus Valencia match, and this has, of course, opened the door to a lot of speculation on why was Monchi there. A lot of people think that he might have been there to kind of strike a deal in regards to Lenglet, because Monchi does represent Clement Lenglet. Clement Lenglet is on loan with Aston Villa. Barcelona are looking to offer him on a permanent transfer, but people closer to the club think that Monchi was not there for Lenglet, but instead that he was there for Jules Koundé, because it seems that Aston Villa are interested in signing the French defender. Now, as you know, because I've said this many times in my previous videos, Barcelona are willing to listen to offers for any players that are not on the list of untransferable players or untouchable players like, Araujo, Pedri, Gabi, Lamine, etc. those players Barcelona are not willing to sell, but anyone else is pretty much up for grabs, and Barcelona will listen to offers. That does not mean that Barcelona will sell. They're just willing to listen to offers, and if a big enough offer comes, they would be willing to sell the player. So it's reported that Monchi, or at least people are thinking that Monchi could have been present at the stadium to kind of facilitate or to try to pitch some kind of offer from Aston Villa for the French defender. Of course, we don't know this for sure. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But for now, Kunde does want to stay in Barcelona, so we'll see what will happen down the road. And last bit of news is that Deco has spoken about the rumor of Oscar Hernandez. As you know, there was some news about that meeting that happened between Xavi and Laporta, where Xavi agreed to stay or asked to stay as Barcelona's manager for next season. And it was reported that Deco and the club had requested that Xavi Hernandez fire his brother Oscar Hernandez and replace him with someone more experienced, someone like Dominic Torrent, who was the right-hand man of Pep Guardiola. Well, Deco did give an interview after, or I think it was before the match against Valencia, and said that that was absolutely not true, that instead that the club were looking to reinforce kind of like the fitness trainers, and this is why the club will be hiring Julio Toz and Raul Martinez. So Deco completely saying that that news is false. Of course, we'll never know exactly what happened as far as that. Sure, it could be false, but this also could be truth. I don't think Deco would come out and straight up admit that they asked Xavi to fire his own brother, but that's Deco's official version. After all, Deco always complained about the trainings. He always thought that Xavi's trainings were not intense enough. He turned out to be right. We saw that all throughout the season, and this is why the club have decided to bring in 2 new people to manage the fitness section of the club. But I am curious to hear, what do you guys think? Do you think Deco is being truthful that they never asked Xavi to fire his brother? Do you think it's not, that it's a lie, that he's just saying that for the news? Let me know down below in the comment section. But anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading one more video in a few minutes. But thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Peace, Barça.